Also on the wagon alert status, Tom, are you do you want to issue an alert or a warning about that team that was competing in Lincoln tonight?
No. They're
Okay.
the lack of foot on throat murder in the second half kind of removed that thought process from my mind. They looked a little soft in the second half. I'm not gonna lie, a little shamed in what Nebraska did there.
There's so many things I want to say, but I cannot. So I will say them for the group chat there afterwards. Are we moving on to that?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to linger for too long. I mean, Nebraska whomped them. I mean, it's 28-10 on the final score, but again, like it's similar to the Alabama was closer with South Florida than the final score looks. Nebraska, Colorado was over.
Yeah. If we were coming out of break, I was going to just pretend I was reading a book and like, oh, what are you reading? Oh, the book on Colorado, because it's out now, guys. Colorado does not have a tight end, and they will not run the football. And we freaking nailed this thing because we said, hey, you know what? No balls over the top. Make Shedeur in this offense be patient when the receivers catch the ball, hit them, dare them to run the football. They probably won't take the dare, and they didn't. Here's your stat. All right, before this thing went nuts, and Nebraska was just light boxing them all night. Like Colorado,
like 5 dudes in the box all night.
Dare you to run the ball. Through 3 quarters, game was over, right? 5 running back carries, 13 yards. I'm issuing a declaration that Colorado is an air raid team. And do you know who knows how to play air raid teams extremely well? The entire Big 12 conference. Although there's some injuries tonight, like Texas Tech does not appear to know how to play against an air raid team. But they went through this because the air raid ripped this league up for a long time. And I know they're not running the air raid scheme, but they don't have a tight end. Okay, they nominally throw out Savell Smalls, but he's not any good. And like to me, putting him out there is just taking a much better receiver off the field. They can't run the football, and so it's just dropped back a million times. I mean, Shedeur up until garbage time was 20 of 35 for 215. I mean, 35 for 215 is terrible. You throw in what they have 5 or 6 sacks tonight?
6.
What's the yards per drop back there? Like they had 5 sacks when my definition of garbage time hit. Okay, so basically 40 dropbacks, 215, probably 30 yards lost to sacks on 5 sacks. I would say because the one was like a huge sack. You threw a pick 6 to my guy Tommy Hill, by the way.
I know. I love
that.
Yeah, you were sitting there. You're like, Nebraska does have one corner. He's a good athlete. He's somebody who I think could really like show out. And sure enough,
if you drop back and stare at the guy he's covering for 10 minutes on a short out and then release the ball, he's going to make a play.
Well, that cost him money too. Like that ball hung. That's a throw that like the really, really good NFL quarterbacks, first of all, like don't try to make it, but they got a little more zip on the ball than he does. That thing hung there, and Tommy Hill picked it and dunked it on him. So, I don't know, man. I guess Shiloh got hurt, which sucks. So I hope he gets healed up. They did play better defense after he got hurt. So I think Tom is right on actually like him not being one of their best 11 players. I mean,
did you? Hey, I mean, I'm not trying to tell your business, but did you fire live?
on the team total? Yes, I did. And won rather easily.
I know. It's like, and look, we've got a sudden upgrade to my rating of this defense right now.
So when Shiloh goes out, we bet live unders.
No.
Oh, I took as soon as Shiloh went out, I took the Nebraska team total under.
Yeah.
I thought Colorado's defense would improve.
Which also, to be fair, we are also attributing some side eye at Nebraska, like you mentioned, Tom, for not stepping on the throat.
Yeah. I mean, I also get it. Like they had the game in hand, and maybe
the place was going nuts. It was easy. Like if for Matt Rule in Nebraska, this is what you wanted. We talked about how that schedule sets up for them to stack a bunch of wins early, but we were like, but who knows? You know, Colorado game could be tricky the way things went last year, and they got all the stress over with early.
I mean, I think that they probably feel like they've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Like they've got, I think, Northern Iowa next week, but then Big Ten play starts. And I also think if you're Matt Rule, you've got Dylan Raiola. It's a freshman QB. you don't want to run the risk of him doing something stupid that could allow the other team to get back into the picture. So you get a little conservative knowing that you're going to get out of there with the win. And if it starts getting hairy, okay, you put your foot back on the gas. So I don't hate it. I'm just saying if you're a wagon, you wouldn't have done it. So, they're no longer on that status.
Shout out to the Nebraska nose guard, the polar bear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had that Colorado center in hell all night. Like that was just good God. Like that was unfair and probably unsafe. They should have called the fight there.
Like I said on the Tuesday show, North Dakota State didn't have anybody like Nash Hutmacher sitting in the middle of their defensive line, man.
What was the long pass for Colorado tonight?
Their longest pass was 30 yards to Will Shepherd.
And that was a catch and run, right?
Believe so.
Wasn't a bomb over the top?
No.
I just think that's going to be the thing. Colorado has not shown an ability to score in the red zone against reasonably competent defenses. They cannot run the football at all. Shador is not a run threat. They don't have a tight end. Their one red zone answer remains Travis Hunter, which again, I mean, I feel like we're just repeating the Wednesday show and the Tuesday show and also the Thursday show. That's a pretty good answer against most teams in the red zone, but it probably can't be your only answer. And, but I don't know how many teams can execute this plan that Nebraska did. Nebraska has a really good D line. They can light box you and push you around. Baylor looked terrible today, right? Colorado State is not any good. Arizona was losing at half, I think, right, to Northern Arizona.
Yeah.
So that's not Boise's beating Oregon in the third quarter.